On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we're going to be talking about the future of artificial intelligence in video games. Our feature artist is Moebius, and our special guest is Chavez, and that's all coming up now. Welcome to Taskforce Geek. My name is Dark Cooper, and tonight I am joined by Sean.
Yep.
And our buddy Walsh.
How you doing, y'all?
Regular contributor Savannah. How you doing?
Hi.
She's dressing up for us. That we're not dressing up. We're behind the curve because we have Savannah on. And our special guest tonight is comic writer L.A. Chavez.
Hello.
How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
You are in Venezuela.
Right now with the family, yes. With the COVID situation, we wanted to be close to family.
That is awesome. Well, we are officially international tonight. So how about that?
Ironically, I have the better internet.
You have better internet than I have here in Oklahoma City by a long shot. We are broadcasting tonight. Let's see. Where are we? We are on Facebook. There is my Facebook address. We are also, once again, broadcasting on YouTube. There it is right there. And for maybe 1 or 2 weeks more, we're on Dark Cooper Plus at Twitter and Periscope. Periscope's about to die. And when it does, then we're going to lose broadcasting to both of those platforms. But for right now, please, if you're watching this live, then share it on your platform, wherever it is that you're watching this, so that your platform becomes our platform. What else can I talk about here? We are rapidly approaching. This is episode 48. We're calling episode 50 our year anniversary, although I think we skipped about maybe 2 episodes, something like that. So anyway, it's been about a year, almost. It's incredible. If you have any ideas on what we should do for our big 50th anniversary episode, I have a few ideas, but we're like literally two or 3 weeks away from that. Then chime in. Tell us what to do. We want to know. All right, let's see. Wait a minute. Here we go. Scott says send him a link, and he'll pop in for a second. Will someone please do that? I can't do that. Now I'm smack dab in the middle of the show.
I got it.
And Steve says good evening. Good evening to you, sir.
What's up, Steve?
Howdy.
All right, we're going to go to our first segment, if I can get this going here. Here it comes. All right, the first thing we're going to talk about tonight is the future of artificial intelligence in video games. And, I know several of us play video games here, and maybe you're happy with the level of artificial intelligence on these characters, but to be honest with you, it seems like it hasn't changed much in like the last decade or something. I mean, if you're into like shooter games or something, I know that they don't seem to be getting much smarter or anything. Well, let me tell you, they are working on that as we speak. And one article on that says that we will foresee a new generation of artificial intelligent agents that can have a more active, intelligent role in the game narrative, perhaps generating new missions and side story elements on the fly. This will require a combination of emerging AI technologies, which developers are only beginning to grapple with. One example is natural language processing, a type of AI program that simulates written or spoken human communication. In other words, it writes, or in combination with real-time speech synthesis. Wow. It talks like a person. It's basically going to talk to you. Like, they're not going to program it and record it with actors and stuff. This program is going to talk to you in real time. The use of NLP in games would allow AIs to build human-like conversational elements and then speak them in a naturalistic way without the need for pre-recorded lines of dialogue performed by an actor. Combine these with AI assistant character animation, which a lot of studios are now using to augment motion capture and make characters more naturally responsive to the environment. You might have NPCs that can think, talk, act, and plan like real people. Does anyone see a potential issue with this?
I'm going to be that guy and say that when it comes to AI, I kind of think that, my opinion tends to be maybe we should take a closer look at the Terminator movies.
There are a few Star Trek Next Generation episodes they need to take a look at as well.
For real.
So,
and like almost every science fiction movie, television show, and comic in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
LA, do you play video games?
Not as much anymore. It takes time from the writing, but I used to be a big gamer when I was in early college and obviously in high school. But I've lost touch for real.
Do you feel like they could improve the AI in video games, or you think it's pretty good how it is?
I mean, like I said, I'm not a huge gamer, so I'm pretty like I play one or two a year now, and I'm usually satisfied. I try to handpick the best one I can find, but yeah, sure. I mean, the technology improving is always a good thing in general, and making it more challenging, evolving the nature of the game. Sure, I guess it's just when you give it a will of its own that I'm gonna get nervous. But
it gets a little scary.
Yeah, but maybe I'm superstitious. But I don't know. I ultimately it's not. It's a question for more people than just me to decide on. But
right, I got you. All right, Sean, what do you think, man?
This is the end of mankind. We're just slitting our own throats. We're all going to die. It's
that was easy.
It's now my video games can tell me with extreme authority exactly how they're going to kill me. That's great. That's great. That's awesome. Anytime anybody starts talking about artificial intelligence, it makes me pucker. So yeah, that's all great in my video games. I'm playing the Division, making my bad guys a little bit more more tactical, more aggressive, whatever to up the challenge. But
right,
dude. I can put together a gift basket. I've talked about this before. I need to put together a gift basket. And every time one of these nutsack scientists decide that they're going to advance artificial intelligence, I need to just send this gift basket with the Terminator, with what was the movie, Virus.
Get them educated.
Just here.
Rick
just
and Morty.
Good afternoon. Rick and Morty.
Any Star Trek Next Generation episode where the holograph becomes sentient. Yeah, the holodeck characters when they become sentient. Any one of those episodes.
So many of those episodes.
Yeah.
So
many.
The Doctor.
Man.
I remember there was that one episode where they had a simulation of Professor Moriarty from the Sherlock Holmes, and the biggest criminal mind of its time takes live, and it's like, I feel it's a warning. We need to listen.
It was definitely a warning. It was definitely a warning.
Let's get some of the comments from people out here. Shill says, "I vote that you do a 50th episode music." Is anyone ready to do? Numbers,
no one wants that.
Dancing.
Lots
of dancing.
I don't see any of us singing or dancing. Yeah, I don't see any of us singing or dancing, but I do see us sharing some of our favorite music videos. But the royalties on that we can't afford.
There's no way that we would literally have to do the acting and stuff on that, because there's no way we could show it and do that. We don't have the cash for that or the clearance. Jerry says, "Hello guys, welcome LA, welcome back Savannah."
Hello.
Yeah, thank you.
Jerry says that the musical might be a challenge. Hello to Maxine.
Hey, Mom.
Steve says, "Skynet, anyone?"
Yeah, no kidding.
Steve does like the musical idea, though, and Ashel says, "Thank you." All right, Walt, we're going to go to you on the AI issue. You want to go against AI?
I want to go against AI being able to tell me how bad I suck at the game. Yes.
Yeah, as if it's not bad enough already, right?
Yeah. I mean, I I do want to see a little bit of improvements because Steve Steve Shank out there can attest that when playing Gran Turismo against the computer, I've never seen that much brake checking, even on a highway. When you're playing against the computer on Gran Turismo, like every turn, it's a hard brake check. Really hard, almost cooked to a complete stop. And it's like, you don't need to brake in that turn. So, yeah, a little improvement, but I don't want it to be just as smart or smarter than me. I don't want it learning from me.
You don't want absolute insanity.
I don't want absolute. Then it's not worth playing the game. Just make them all, multiplayer games. If you're going to do that, just make them all multiplayer games.
Can you imagine if they added that system to like the Grand Theft Auto games?
Oh yeah.
I mean, that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, the computer is trying to learn. Okay, so this is a game where people just randomly go and kill people and run over people and just
See, and then they had DARPA, and next thing you see is those stupid DARPA things running around and they're ripping you out of your car, and the little dog would be following along with this little yellow body, and it's got a hand now. So
I don't want it. No.
You know what scares me for real? Those robotic dog-like thing with 4 legs but no head that do like
yeah.
Scares me. I swear, I have not seen one video of that does not scare me to some level.
Exactly.
And then of course all the DARPA guys are hitting it with sticks and shoving it down.
They're mean to it.
Now we're going to give it an AI, and now it's going to say, "Oh, you thought that was funny, didn't you, bitch?"
And you know what? I want to be there when one of those things give a mule kick to one of those scientists, because I want to stand there and look at that robot and go, "Exactly. That's the exact response you need to give them."
They had a robot, I think, in Japan now that can slam dunk, and all I could think of that's gonna be my head. That's gonna be slam dunk.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, they're doing backflips. It used to be you could kick them over and run away. Now you can't kick them over. It's like they're resilient, and they do backflips, and they do stuff that we can't do now. And of course, they're made of metal. And I don't. Yeah, it's scary. It's getting scary. The scariest thing I heard was like they connected 2 of these computers together, and they started like artificial intelligent computer. They created their own language. They started talking to each other in their own language. Hello, danger.
Because it was more efficient. It was more efficient.
Oh man. Right? When those guys start figuring out their own language, we are in trouble.
They unplugged that thing too.
They unplugged it. They unplugged it.
I would have set it on fire after unplugging it. Just
for real. And fired into the sun.
Yeah. That's it. It's over. It'd be like, okay, it works.
You're done.
We know it can be done. Okay, let's go back to our old-fashioned lives.
I'm trying to understand the goal. It's like, what do you need them to think for exactly? I mean,
it's almost like now that we've done all the thinking, you can do the thinking for us, and now we can just sit back and do nothing.
I think I want to say one last thing. Because you see, for example, Star Trek. Since we're talking about it, and the idea is that technology has evolved to that point because society has also evolved to that point, and it's like we're no longer at war. Everybody pretty much has access to everything they want. There's no hunger, there's no poverty because there's no money. It's like society is at a point where yes, you can have technology that simulates holodecks because we've reached that point together, but it's like
we're getting there.
We're not there. There's still so much that's wrong.
We're not there up here yet.
Needing robots that can slam dunk for us. I don't.
Yeah. We're not there. We're not. I mean, like technological wise, we're probably close to there, but mentally, in our heads and in our hearts, we're not there yet. No. So
that's the scary thing is that we're probably way ahead of ourselves. We're probably much further technologically than we are socially.
and mentally
on this stuff and mentally for sure.
Another movie that I think has the best warning, although it's not about robots, but it is about technology, taken too far. Jurassic Park, you gotta remember Goldblum, just like, you try to do this thing before you knew it, you had it, you packaged it, and you didn't stop to think if you should,
should you do it?
Right. Should you do it? Yeah.
Yeah. Messing with genes, gene splicing, this new vaccine that we have is a completely new thing. It may be wonderful, but it also may turn you into Wolverine. I don't know.
I'll tell you if I get superpowers on Thursday.
Good. Good times, man. Good times. I hope that if we get mutant powers, that they're cool mutant powers. They're not sucky.
I'll just
I grow a cup on my head. That's not a great, not a great superpower.
I'll be satisfied if it just gives me a boost of energy and I don't nap all day anymore. So I'll be like, hey, I wake up, I feel great. Let's go ride the bike and come back and still not be tired, and then tired when I'm supposed to be tired. So,
did you guys send Scott a link to join us here tonight?
I did, but I don't know if it's the right one. So.
Okay, well,
I hope it's the right one.
He hasn't joined us yet. And Savannah, we haven't talked to you yet on this subject. What do you think about you play a lot of video games? Saw you on Twitch just the other night. What do you want to play? I mean, you play player versus player, which is about the most challenging thing. What do you think about making your non-player characters smarter?
I mean, some of the funniest things happen when the dumb NPCs do stupid shit.
Right.
That out. I don't know how it's gonna be. I mean, it would be interesting to see where the story could go if it's constantly changing, but also I don't know if I would ever play another. Would you ever need more than one game at that point? If the quest is always changing and switching up.
Yeah, seriously.
I mean, just get one game, call it good.
For real. I mean, it takes open world gaming to a whole different level.
Yeah, when a Fallout game like that. Oh,
right.
I would live in that world. No one would ever see me again.
There you go.
The Oasis.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're talking about here. Is the potential to take open world gaming to an entirely different level. They create, the parameters of what this world are. And, look, people have said that we're living in a simulation right now. And, we
Elon Musk has said that many a time.
Yes. And I mean, you already see the seeds of where, maybe 100, 200 years in the future, you could jack into a video game and not be able to tell the difference between reality and, what's, this video game and stuff. And at that point, I guess you could say that there's a good case that we're in a simulation. Maybe we're all, it's like the Matrix and we're all jacked in there. And although this is a lousy game that we're in, it's just not fun. It's not as fun as it should be. I think
it's broken.
We need an update, folks. I mean, whoever's in charge of this, it's time for an update.
There's a definite glitch in this Matrix.
For real. I want more excitement, not like death excitement, but cool stuff. I want cool stuff.
Like a roller coaster every day to work.
Yeah,
like literal roller coaster.
I want jetpacks and air cars and.
I'd settle for going back to Disney at this point.
There you go.
Hey, that sounds like a plan.
All right, folks, we're going to move on to our next subject. Maybe.
So he says.
Maybe.
I don't believe it.
I'm not sure if I believe it either. All right. Our artist spotlight tonight is Moebius. So let's see if I can bring this up here. Oh, look at that. I did it. There's Moebius right there. Let me get a little closer to him.
Is that a self-portrait?
That is a self-portrait. So let me tell you a little bit about Moebius, and then we'll get into this stuff. Jean Girard, who is known, who was a French artist, cartoonist, and writer who worked in the Franco-Belgian tradition. Girard garnered worldwide acclaim under the pseudonym Moebius, as well as Gir, outside of the English-speaking world. He was used for the Blueberry series, which I have a couple pieces from that. His most successful creation in the non-English speaking parts of the world, and his Western-themed paintings. He was esteemed, or is esteemed, by Federico Fellini, Stan Lee, Miyazaki, among others, many others. He has been described as the most influential artist after Hergé. His most famous works include the series Blueberry, created with writer Jean-Michel Charlier, featuring one of the first anti-heroes in Western comics. As Moebius, he created a wide range of science fiction and fantasy comics in a highly imaginative, surreal, almost abstract style. These works include Arzak and the Airtight Garage. He also collaborated with avant-garde filmmaker Alejandro Jodorowsky for an unproduced adaptation of Dune. And by the way, Jodorowsky's Dune, the documentary on that was amazing. The Inkel is what he ended up doing from that work. Moebius also contributed storyboards and concept designs for numerous science fiction and fantasy films, including Alien, Tron, The Fifth Element, and The Abyss. Directly and indirectly, he's influenced Hollywood's greatest filmmakers, including George Lucas and Ridley Scott. At the age of 22, he pioneered adult graphic novels, taking comics in a new metaphysical direction. At the age of 22 was, like a long time ago, folks. It's like in the 50s or 60s. When questioned about his venture from the world of mainstream comic art to that of surreal, often abstract and fantastical illustration, the artist offers a practical observation. Quote, "The possibilities as a professional illustrator are very small. Sometimes I prefer to escape and just do my own thing. It's more exciting." So let's take a look at his work here, folks. While I take my glasses off and itch my eye because it's killing me. All right. And you guys can chime in here. Anything that you want to say? This is one of his pieces from a work called Arzak. It's this weird kind of creature or whatever is very similar to the creature that Tarna was on in the
heavy metal
poster and the heavy metal movie. Very similar. You can notice that the style that he's known most for, and I don't know all of what he's using here, perfectly from beginning to end, but basically what it is like a crow quill pen that he's been inking, and then it looks like, to me, probably watercolor, might be some, gouache or acrylics or something like that. It is very, very tight and even for watercolors, but who knows? This guy was very good. This is a piece that he did for The Fifth Element. The opera singer.
The opera singer.
Very cool.
Yeah, pretty awesome, right? That looks like that's on maybe pencil on like some colored paper or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say
on a parchment, sort of parchment.
Yeah, like a kind of a colored paper. It's got some tooth to it. That's pretty awesome right there. Also from Fifth Element, some of the police guys that he did. So many films in the 80s and 90s he was influential on. Pretty amazing. I mean, this is pretty straightforward right here. This is just crow quill and I'm going to say markers.
Very bold.
Yeah, and unique. Keep in mind, this is before all the regular stuff. Also from Fifth Element, that's the shop that was floating around in that city. I like this little cat over here. It's got a kitty cat over there. I like that.
Yeah, I had a series of Marvel posters by Moebius back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Right.
And when I was in art school, I emulated his Iron Man poster I did a painting of Iron Man, and I did it in his style. And
I have that piece. It's coming up here in just a moment.
Yeah, and I never got to finish that piece because it rained and there was water leaking in my apartment, and it ruined the painting. So never got to finish that piece.
That is a big disaster. Water and artwork usually don't make so great. Mm-hmm. This is kind of typical of the stuff that he did, again, like kind of in the 80s and 90s, kind of this fantasy type stuff where he kind of creates this world. A lot of his stuff was influenced by that kind of blueberry Western stuff that he did. A lot of his environments look like Arizona to me, since I used to visit Arizona with my parents and stuff. You know, this mountain and stuff and these, you know, these shrubs and the landscape and stuff, that looks like Arizona. So he was definitely influenced by the Southwest. This was for the Abyss.
Huh.
Pretty cool looking. And again, I think I want to.
That's on black, on a black paper.
That's black paper. It looks like whatever. Again, Prismacolor. I'm going to say something like that, like a colored pencil that he's done. Yeah, pretty nice. This is from Alien. You'll notice that is the Alien astronaut outfit right there. And it's, I mean, what they did is almost exactly that. I mean, they basically just took that and recreated it, which is awesome. This is just pen and ink. You have to realize how influential this guy was on movies and things that, you know, you take for granted, and on some of the most visionary movies that are out there. Also from Alien. Again, pen and ink with probably a wash over that. I mean, there's Dallas right there. You actually draw it to look like Dallas. He's got a little dude out here in space. This is Blueberry. I was talking about that earlier. You notice it's a little different. He did this in like with I'm going to say a sable hair brush ink. It looks very traditional. It looks like something from the 50s to me. I'm not sure what the year was. Does anyone know when he did Blueberry?
No idea.
Not right off the top of my head.
I'm going to guess that it was in the 60s or 70s, early 70s. I'm going to guess, but I could be wrong. But this is a little different than his other stuff that he's doing, obviously, because it's inked with a brush as opposed to a Crowquill pen. So you've got, the variation of line here.
The main series was published between 1963 and 2007.
Wow. So he went back to that on many occasions.
The main series was 1963 to 2007. Young Blueberry, 1968. Marshall Blueberry, 1991 to 2000.
Wow. Very cool. Also Blueberry, again, probably, pen and ink, maybe a little brush.
That's a good illustration right there.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
Really cool.
Surely other people had picked up that property and they were running with it. I can't imagine that he did that entire time.
Yeah, I don't think he was doing it all that time. Notice how he has constructed his hair and stuff. Again, it's kind of the way that Frazetta does things. It's abstract. If you look at it that quick, it's that close, it's difficult to tell what's going on there. But when you pull it back, it looks amazing. I'm going to guess that this is Crowquill and brush that he's done, and he probably did the Crowquill first and then went back in and put some blacks in over it. But that's beautiful. That's really amazing stuff. That's one of my favorite characters of all time.
Death.
It's Death from DC. Again, I'm going to say that's probably colored paper, something like that. But he started in the Walt, when was it that you said that he did the Iron Man thing? Was it like maybe the late 90s?
It was the late 80s.
It was the late 80s. Okay.
It was late
80s. He started doing, like, he was influential to a lot of people, but Marvel and DC started contacting him to do work. And I think that a lot of people were exposed to his work through that thing. And he did a little bit of DC, but he did a lot of Marvel stuff.
Silver Surfer. Mainly, he did a lot of Silver Surfer because there's a lot of really good Silver Surfer stuff that he did.
I think he actually did a Silver Surfer comic, did he not, folks?
I think so. I think he did a graphic novel.
Pretty cool. There's that Arzak dude again. And this is kind of this. I really love his colors. Look at these colors that he's got here on this. More of that. Some of his more detailed stuff. Some of this stuff gets very, high fantasy type stuff. The detail on this is insane. You can just keep going into this thing. And I love these brush strokes that he's got going on here. That's not easy.
All the work that he did in the old heavy metal and Metal Hurlant magazines were phenomenal.
Yeah. That's really where I discovered him first was heavy metal. And
yeah,
then,
same here.
Afterward also, I didn't realize it, but he was doing the design in all the movies that I loved the design in, pretty amazing. This is I believe Airtight Garage. These backgrounds, these weird backgrounds that he does, and I think there's another piece that's a little closer to this, was highly influential in what I did. Like, I'm always wondering what the heck I'm going to do with backgrounds. And so I realized that a lot of times I kind of default to doing, or trying to do Moebius type stuff. This is Airtight Garage. He was kind of Kim Jong-gi, but long before Kim Jong-gi, because he's the type of guy that would sit down and just start drawing a character and then draw the next guy next to him. And then, he didn't do a lot of preamble. He went right into the drawing and, just added little details here and there. And then suddenly you've got this huge deal here. He was an artist's artist. I've never seen this piece before. I don't even know what this is from. I love this. This is the sort of weird kind of abstract stuff. Does anyone read French? Étonnant? I don't know what that means.
Probably holy crap.
Cool. Yeah.
Probably. I'll go with that.
I took French for a semester. It went in one ear, and then I passed my test, and then I went out the other ear.
Exactly. I took French for a long time, and then didn't use it for like 10 or 15 years and went to Belgium, and I didn't know a thing. I had no idea what the people were talking to me. It's like, man, I hope that some people speak English here.
I have so far studied 2 different languages, and I continue to study. Because I can't speak them.
I love this piece right here.
So it translates to astonishing.
And that it is.
Or holy crap.
Yeah.
Look at what's going on.
I can see his work. Like you mentioned, he had worked on the Dune movie or a version of the Dune movie.
Right.
And it really evokes that to me. Yeah, like immediately it's like his art style was meant for something like that.
Yeah, you can definitely see it in there.
If you get the opportunity to do a search for Moebius Dune and see the character designs that he did, the costumes that he did for that movie, it would have been a completely different movie. Much brighter, much more colorful. Not the drab, very dark, very earth tones that we got in the film. Lots of blues, lots of reds, lots of yellows. He really utilized color in those characters, but also the look of the characters themselves were just flipping out there. I wish that they had done a Moebius interpretation of Dune, because it would have been glorious. It really would have been glorious. It would have been completely different than anything you'd ever seen.
Well, Jodorowsky's Dune had Pink Floyd soundtrack, and who was the other group that was involved in that? Alan Parsons or something.
Alan Parsons. They, as far as artists, they had Giger. They had God bless. Pretty much everybody that was involved in the movie Alien.
Yeah, they just ported those fellas over there.
They were gathered together for Dune, and then when the Dune fell apart, they just moved over to the Alien film. Ron Cobb, he was big part of that.
Yep. Jury says, loving how one artist influenced so many films.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
and continues to do so. There's I believe it's from the In-Call. There's one particular panel
here,
dude. Apparently, when he came to the United States, on vacation. He was here, if I remember right, for a couple of months, and he literally went into the deserts of what was it? Was it Nevada, I believe? Anyway, he went out and just wanted to become one with the earth and did a lot of acid. And you can see some of the acid, but a lot of his communion with the earth, in his landscapes, in his depiction of just the flatlands and the mountains and stuff. He really took to the visuals of what he saw under the influence. You can find it on YouTube.
This looks like an Instagram piece to me. Like something, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
very colorful.
Colorful. It features a girl and doing something weird. That's definitely something that would play well right now on Instagram for sure if you did a bunch of these.
There's a really good documentary, I think it was produced by the BBC, that you can find on YouTube about Moebius. I highly recommend looking that up. It's about an hour, maybe a little over an hour, and it just goes through his whole I believe that's
from Dune.
That is
from Dune.
That's Atreides.
So was the previous thing, I think.
That's cool.
Yeah, look at this.
There you go. Look
all of his characters.
I totally like those. I totally like those looks better.
There's the Emperor.
I mean, just imagine what that movie would have been like,
I mean, this is incredible. Look at this dude. That's got to be. Oh gosh, I can't think of anyone's name.
Patrick Stewart's character, probably.
Right. Well, right.
I forget his name, but.
I mean, this is incredible. Look at this guy here.
The Baron especially terrifies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The Baron is amazing. I mean, those are fully realized.
Gurney Halleck.
Or even an animated movie in that style.
Right? I would love to see that.
For sure. Also his Dune stuff, kind of close-ups on some of these characters. I mean, who designs outfits like this?
They were so
Moebius.
Yep. Steve says Gurney Halleck.
Gurney Halleck. He seemed to have something going on with crystals. I don't understand that.
I'm telling you,
he drew crystals a lot.
He's doing good stuff.
I miss this type of sci-fi. This.
Me too.
Right.
Bold.
Yeah.
This is bulky, even like the way he draws everything's so Apple now.
Yes. Yeah. So sleek and yeah. You're absolutely right. I agree.
That was a great description, by the way.
It was a great description. It was right on target. speaking of the Marvel stuff here, we're going to be in a kind of a run on these things, and I think a lot of people found Moebius by doing, by his Marvel stuff because it was very accessible. This is obviously his Elektra that he did.
Somebody's at my front door. Don't they know?
Apparently, they don't understand what's going on here. How about this for the Punisher?
I used to have this poster.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Look at how cool that is. I mean, it's obviously the Punisher, but it's also obviously kind of his interpretation.
I would watch this Punisher.
Yeah.
Let's do this. That is so cool.
Yeah, there was a whole series of posters. I never did get this one. I wanted this one too.
Dude, this Daredevil is awesome. But look at this. Here's the background stuff I was talking about. See how he's got it looks like a kind of a wall here with, like
the pits and everything
and stuff. I always, if you ask me to draw a wall, I would kind of go back to
wow. Okay.
Look at this Spider-Man.
That Spider-Man is awesome.
How incredibly insane is this? I love this. Let's get right up on him.
What was really cool about these posters is that he took the Marvel characters and the environments that they were in weren't their natural environments.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where
Yeah,
that ain't New York.
No,
folks.
And it's just like the weapon that the Punisher was holding was not a machine gun.
Yeah, it was like a staff or something.
Yeah, like back then, you were used to seeing him with an M16, but he's got that weird staff and the scarf around him. So yeah, these posters were really different.
I love that Spider-Man piece. How about this?
I remember that too.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
What's great about this is he's done this again, probably I'm going to say watercolor, maybe acrylic, I don't know. But then he's gone back with the Prismacolor pencils and created texture and stuff over this. It's worked under here. Ronnie says that Spider-Man for some reason reminds him of the Frazetta's Egyptian queen.
Yeah, it's that column. He's on that column and all the designs on that column. That's what I was like. He seems out of place, but yet it looks cool.
Is everything okay, Sean?
That's the poster that I tried to emulate.
That's nice. I do remember that poster.
Yeah, that was a really awesome Iron Man.
He's got this expression instead of it's almost like this is not like armor. He's actually Iron Man, like he's a living breathing Iron Man,
like metal flesh
or something like that. I mean, because that's kind of what he's done here. Pretty cool interpretation.
I wonder if
I wish he had done like an entire Marvel book of like weird sci-fi,
seriously.
He did a Silver Surfer comic. It's called the Parable.
I gotta read that.
More alien stuff.
This, I think this might be Alien.
I know it is. Because
okay.
I have the art of, and that is in it.
All right.
I believe, I don't think they name, but I believe that's supposed to be Brett over there on the left.
This is the sort of thing that drives me nuts about. I love art of books, whether it's for video games or whether it's for movies or whatever. And for some reason, some of the latest things where they do art of books, they show you the final version of whatever it is that they created, like right before they put it together and made an actual version of it for the film. I want to see this. I want to see what they were talking about and discussing earlier. What were the concepts that they had before they finalized the thing. I think that's a lot more interesting and informative on how you create characters.
I always imagine for a lot of these movies, it's always executive producers coming down and like, I don't understand it, change it, make it so.
Yeah.
So true. That's so true. What is going on here? He's got this mask and it's on a pole and this guy's reading and I don't know. This person is like a tent. I don't know what's going on here.
Acid Man.
Oh, it's the Wonder Drug. I love this piece. There's so much. I hope there's not nudity or something in this.
Looks like a party.
Look at all this stuff. Look at this
party.
backpack that he's just drawn here in the middle of all this silliness. Look at this dog, this happy dog.
Have you ever known a dog to not be happy?
Yeah, most dogs are pretty happy. There's a little dog here.
Even when they're ripping you to shreds, they're happy to do it.
They're happy to do it. They always seem to have a smile, whether you like it or not.
Now, this guy's got this catfish shark-looking thing
Yeah,
in his arms.
he does.
Clearly, it does not need to be submerged, and you can just pet it.
Yeah.
But then again, his flesh is green, so
hanging out. Yeah, this dude is green, so who knows what's going on there? How about this
Is it
baby
just me, or
carriage?
is there like a gun behind the baby, or like, do you see it? Like
There is a gun
Yes.
here, but it's like, but there's not like a barrel. There's something else going on. I don't know. Yep, it's pretty weird. Oh, someone's pushing the carriage.
Oh, that gun is behind the guy who's eating the fruit.
Maybe it's that dude's gun.
Yeah, I think so.
Could be.
Then again, I don't know. I can't tell because the lady pushing the baby carriage, the handle is over her wrist. So
Look at
maybe
this. Look at this bird up here. That's completely different color than everything else.
this is Jeff Darrow before Jeff Darrow.
For
Yes,
real, Jeff
yes.
Darrow. That's so true.
Yes.
I love this piece too. And again, I don't know what's happening here.
This
Which
looks
is-
like something out of heavy metal.
For sure.
Yeah, but most of the stuff that he did, it really wasn't supposed to be. I'm showing you a picture of this, and you're supposed to get
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He would do these illustrations that challenged you to look at it and kind of come up with your own.
If this was in a gallery in a museum, I would stare at it for an hour. Just trying to
Right.
like.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah.
You don't see, I have never seen any of his like original artwork. That seems strange to me. Why don't they have this in I would love to see the original stuff. You could certainly figure out a lot about his process if you could see the original stuff. Ronnie says the Iron Man has 80s leg warmers on his arms. I don't know if I can share this other comment from Ronnie. It sounds nefarious. What else do we have? Oh, this is from Tron. I think this is Moebius. It was credited with him, although it's very different from a lot of his stuff. But that's the look of Tron right there. The original Tron movie.
That is Tron.
Yeah, you can see the little bikes.
Yeah. There's what do they call that? Light ship or whatever. That's definitely Tron.
It says here he did work on Tron in '82.
Huh.
Yep. So
Oh,
there's
By the way, there
costumes,
is
the
a
snow
Moebius
sail.
museum.
where is it? France,
Uh,
I'm gonna guess.
I'm trying to figure that out right now.
This is from Willow.
Oh,
Jeez, man, he was working on everything.
Yeah. I mean,
I would hire him for everything. Yeah.
I'll look at this piece. Also,
Man
from
had
Willow.
bills.
Look at this. How insanely awesome is that?
That's a really good looking character there.
Was this from Blade Runner?
I don't recognize this one. But,
No, although they credit the city scene of Blade Runner was influenced by what was it? Airtight
Incal.
Garage or Incal. That's it. Yeah, they credit that. Okay, that will conclude the look at stuff. Let's see. Ronnie says, "Thank you guys so much for covering these artists." Yeah, I love this stuff. This is fun stuff. All right, we are. Does anyone else want to say anything about Moebius before we move on?
Just like everybody else. I mean, guys our age. I'm not gonna divulge that age.
Young guys.
We grew up looking at these guys' artwork, specifically, like Moebius, from heavy metal, and then like I remember him from heavy metal, and then when he started doing the Marvel stuff is when I really started paying attention to his artwork. So his line work was great.
I mean, all the movies you mentioned are movies I adore and grew up with, and have influenced me on this. Alien is one of the most influential movies, so it's like,
yeah.
Me too. He said, here's another quote by him. He said, "By studying the reasons for our failure, only then can we begin to learn." That was not Yoda. That was Moebius. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this up and move on to our next section. All right. Our next section is our guest, L.A. Chavez. How you doing?
Hello.
It's time for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world.
I'm nervous, but there we go.
No, man, don't be nervous. You're doing great. You're doing great. L.A. Chavez is the founder of Wicked Suit Productions. I'm curious about where you came up with that. And writer-creator of the comic and animated pilot Frontier Zero, plus the comic Santa Fe. That's Fae. He loves superheroes, sci-fi, and fantasy, just like the rest of us. And your dream, it says, is to tell stories.
No, that is a dream.
Which is super awesome. First off, what I want to do, you are right now, and we're going to get to this in a moment, you are running a Kickstarter for a comic called The Preserve.
Yes.
And we will talk about that. Sean, would you mind, do you have the link to that by any chance? No, you don't have it.
That's
all right, man. I have the link. I want him to bring up the thing. I didn't talk to him beforehand. It's my fault. There is the Kickstarter link. So let me ask you, how did you get started in comics?
Well, it wasn't that long ago. First of all, believe it or not, I was doing the animation. I tried animation first because when I went to college, I went to college in Florida for film and TV. And I was studying that stuff, and I thought, I always wanted to do something on my own, but obviously the biggest impediment to that is like money. Like where do you get the money to make anything?
Hello.
And it was the whole thing. You're studying film, and most of us can't afford to make a film, and unless like we used to make like little jokey films like in the lounge of the college, just sort of like a friends type thing where it's just like we're hanging out and talking. So it was. But I remember wanting to do something of my own, something bold, and I always wanted to I want to work in sci-fi, I want to work in fantasy, something like Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, something big. And I remember I got drunk with I got a little drunk with friends of mine and my brother, and they were like, "Hey man, why don't you just do that? Why don't you just do like a movie or animation? You're always talking about that." I'm like, "No, it's it's so expensive." I'm like, "Well, how much is it?" And before we know it, I'm like, "Well, I know that this much would be this much, and that much would be this much." And I started writing it down like a little notepad that we were over there, and I came up with like a sort of rough number, and they're like, "You know what? I think we can pull this off. We just give us a few months, and we'll save here, and we'll ask some family friends." And before you know it, they sort of gave it to me as a graduation gift a little early. But I started putting together people for that, and it was originally going to be like this sort of mini series, and then I realized this is a nightmare to make. Like, it was a very hard learning experience, very, but in the end, I was able to get a full pilot, of like half an hour animated pilot, very rough animation, really cheap. It's not cheap, but you know what I mean, like for animation.
Sure.
And I was like, I love that, but I don't want to do animation or this kind of stuff anymore. It's too time consuming, too expensive, it's the whole thing. But then I don't remember exactly who suggested it, but somebody was working on a comic at the time, and they're like, you should just do a comic, man. Like, I mean, it's simpler. You only have to deal with like the artist or maybe a second person, and it's way cheaper. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna try. There was an artist I remember following at the time, and they were like asking for people if they were open for commissions or like comics, and I'm like, I'm gonna jump on that. And I messaged them, and I want to do like a prequel comic to the animated pilot, sort of explore that world more. And before you knew it, I did like a whole first chapter. It was like 15 pages, and it was again a learning curve because had no idea how to do it. I was literally writing in the script, okay, so for this page, 16 panels, and he's like, dude, no, that's not how it works. But,
I've seen scripts like that.
yeah, no, exactly, from people who don't know. But it was very kind, and he helped me out, and I learned a lot of the process. And then I did a second chapter with another artist, and then I liked the idea of doing like this anthology with different artists and building on that. And before I knew it, I had 5 chapters, and that prologue comic to the pilot became my first comic. And yeah, I thought, okay, I love this. I gotta find a way to keep doing it. And that became later after I graduated. I took some time off, but then I pulled Santa Fe, and I started exploring that, and I worked it with a new artist that I had met, and we did our first Kickstarter for that, and it was lucky. I had no idea how that worked. I literally just jumped in the deep end of the pool, and people were kind enough to help us out, and yeah, that we literally finished that like a month ago, and just been promoting it, and I just want to get started on the next one, and I found a new team to work on, and it's just it's exploring and just seeing where you can pull help from.
That's awesome. Tell us about the preserve.
The preserve was it's an idea that I had in my head for a long time. Like, I had explored sci-fi and fantasy and like the epic scale, which I think every writer and creator wants to start with the epic scale, a story. We all have that in our heads, but I said, I feel like I want to try something a little more. It's still big, but more grounded, more down to earth, less spaceships, and more, like a Jurassic Park or a Blade Runner, where it's still believable that that kind of setting, but there's like one element that's the element, the dinosaurs or the robots or something. In this case, I always had this image of a hunter hunting monsters, and because that's terrified me for some reason, and just wanted to play with that. And it sort of, you start from that inception of the idea, and you sort of unravel it and start discovering what story lies there, like marble, and for me, it was a story. You want to have something to say in the story, and I think what I realized was it's about hunting, and when I started looking more into hunting, the more I did not like it, and what it means for people who do that kind of thing. I mean, there's an argument for it, I'm sure, but it just, like, when I was growing up in South America, we saw a lot of like bullfighting, and
Right.
they played a lot on the TV, and I remember just being horrified by it as a kid. Like, the idea of like putting animals for display on a show where people just gather and cheer as somebody slowly killing it.
Right.
I could never wrap my head around that. And you look at humanity and the history of humanity, and they to this day delight in whatever gruesome spectacle they can find. I mean, we've evolved at least past the gladiatorial matches, of like Rome and stuff, but
we might be heading back towards that.
Hopefully not, but you still see it a lot with animals, a lot of parts in the world, like the bullfighting is one example. You see
Right.
cockfights and that kind of thing.
Right.
And I mean, I don't find it diverting, but I thought, if you're gonna make a story about that, have a point. And I think my point was, yeah, this is not cool. We should be above something like this. So it's about how horrible can I show this? How far can humanity take this concept? To the point, because when you're doing sci-fi, you want to like expand on an idea
Yeah.
the message you're trying to send to the point where it's horrifying. Like the Hunger Games. It's like, oh, we'll kill each other for food to survive, and well, not food. It was never about hunger in that sense. But it's like we've come to a point where we have cloning and stuff. So it's like, where technology allows us to just not only hunt animals but create whatever we want. The scarier the better. The more cool looking, the more of a show it becomes for people to watch as we kill it. And it's like, you can make a creature as scary as possible, but it's still a creature, still a living creature.
Sure.
So yeah, it kind of became about a hunter who understands that this is wrong, and like the only reason for people to hunt, when I look at the hunting in the world, it's like there's a few tribes in in Africa, for example, that still do it, that live off the land. But ironically, these people who need it the most are the ones who do it the less. They hunt when they need it and collect, and they don't waste any of the animal. It's very sacred to them. And the idea that we've just turned that into a spectacle and it's just for fun, and that kind of became crystallized in my head. And I thought, what if it was like this sport, the event, the preserve, where people go to watch monsters get killed because that's right, that's fun, but it shouldn't be.
This you mentioned Jurassic Park earlier. This strikes me as kind of a Michael Crichton style, high concept thing, where you have these creatures that they're bioengineering these creatures, right?
Yeah.
And they go and hunt these creatures and stuff. I thought it was a really great high concept science fiction idea that you came up with here. So how long has the Kickstarter been running, and what are your tiers on this?
Well, I think a week tomorrow and or today, I forget, but either way. And tiers, I went with the basics. You have to go too fancy sometimes, but like the digital
Right.
reward, the physical reward, every reward accumulates the previous reward. Then I threw in my previous comic for Santa Fe, and on top of that, a producer credit, which like a cool sneak peek for whatever we do next. And my favorite one was to design your own monster, which thankfully my artist was cool enough to
do that.
Yeah, I mean, they said like only a few. We'll limit that one, all right? But they'll be the most expensive. And if you want your own cool monster, and like the first 5. We'll get to see their monster somewhere in the comic, like in the background, or maybe one of them while they hunt. I don't know, but I thought it was really cool idea. And actually, the another important part of the comic was the artist, because it's not just a team of hunters. It's a hunter and an artist, one who hunts the creature and one who designs it. Because I thought that was a really twist to it, like a really cool idea for that. And I was inspired by all the artists I've worked with so far, because I always liked that relationship between the writer and the artist, and how we cooperate to create something. And I don't know, I just like the idea of the lone hunter is cool, but I thought I always prefer to have characters, have somebody to interact with, especially in a close relationship. And I thought, what if the hunter had somebody like a moral support that also was a part of the competition? And I thought, what if they designed it? I don't know. It just kind of went from there. But
yeah, let me share. I've got something else too. Let's see. Take that off, and I'm going to see if I can do this. How about this? Here is one of the pages of the deal. Who is your artist for this?
That is Taylor Keith. They are an artist from North Dakota, I believe, or North Carolina. Sorry, North Carolina. And yeah, no, they did a terrific job. I love their style. It was very horror influenced, and I thought it was perfect for the monsters. Look at that monster.
That's a great beast right there. And the colors are really good. I'm sorry I'm putting you on the spot. Who did the colors on this?
Oh, a friend of mine called Crystal Pandita. She's from Jakarta, and she does terrific coloring. She actually also did that cover right there.
That's
She
a
did the
really
whole
good
cover?
cover. I love that cover.
Great cover.
She has a great style for horror as well. I want a really horror team here, and I loved her color so much, and I saw some of her artwork, and I thought, you know what, you should do the cover. You know, it's and this is what she turned in, and I love it. It's captures perfectly that vibe of terror and like the preserve, like an enclosed surrounding. You know, like so good.
Again, great concept. I look at the color on this; it really sticks out. I like the clean artwork that you've got here.
Very cool lines, yeah.
Yeah, but also, I mean, look, coloring comics is not easy.
No,
You've got a cohesive thing going on here, which I really like.
probably the weakest part of the comic is my writing, but because I got to work with such cool people and talented artists, and I'm like, wow, I hope I can measure up to this.
This is a pinup or a print that someone
Yeah, one
did?
of the rewards was an exclusive print that we did two, one of each of the main characters. This one is by Ahmed Rafat, terrific artist that I actually wanted to work with for a while, and I thought, okay, I need something special as a reward, and I thought you could do this, and he came up with this cool like Punisher poster-esque, you know, where he's aiming at the target, which it's just really cool.
Yeah. Here's some character design.
Mm-hmm. Winston and Rachel.
Is this the designer Rachel is the designer that you were talking
The
about?
artist, yeah.
The artist.
I actually, they are student and teacher. Winston is actually Rachel's teacher in the story, and that's how they know each other. And Rachel finds out that Winston was a champion from the preserve like a long time ago.
Oh.
And it's a whole thing about like, cause also like sports taking out over towns, and you know, like we saw that a lot in South America. I remember when the World Cup of soccer was taking over, there was a whole thing about stadiums being built and like
Sure.
you know, it was all. I remember that, and I thought it's probably going to be the same for a sport this big that's taking over the world in such a storm. So the idea that, you know, he's retired to the small town to find peace, you know, and Rachel's a student there, and he loves it there, she hates it there. They have different motivations, but the town is basically about to be bought by the company who runs the game because they think it's a prime location for the next preserve. And the only way to save it is to win the World Cup, because then you get pretty much whatever you want. So they can save the town this way. And Winston doesn't want to do it. Rachel wants to do it because to her, this is an opportunity for being an artist, you know, to get noticed, get out there, get out of the small town, see the world. And, you know, so they have very different reasons to come into this, but they both do in the end. The first issue is really about exploring their relationship and how the different motivations to come in together.
Dude,
I hope I'm not talking too much. Sorry.
No, that's what you're here for. This is perfect. I'm also curious about this. I think this is super cool. Santa Fe.
Yeah, that's the cover for Santa Fe, the comic we did.
Tell us a little bit about that comic.
Oh, about the cover or the comic?
Either, just the comic in general, and then who did the cover?
This one, the Santa Fe was probably the longest gestating idea I've had in my head. I remember I thinking about it like early in college and just wanting to do like a big, again, the epic scale Lord of the Rings style thing. But I gradually toned it down, and it became a combination of more like Batman meets Lord of the Rings, in like it's a crime drama with very fancy criminals, and as not a superhero, but you know, when you have armor and magic, what's the difference, really?
Right.
And, yeah, so I just sort of like the idea of these elves solving a murder, and you know, the police chief. Well, it's not a police force, but they're called the Royal Knights, but they're pretty much like the police force in this world, and like it's run by a dragon who they call Chief. And they're like, I just love the idea. They're in this room full of treasure because dragons just hoard the treasure, and they're talking crime stats and murder. He's like, what do you think, Dragon Chief? Like, well, I think the criminal, you know, like.
We've got someone who's going to pop in and talk to us for a moment. I'm going to introduce him. Here he comes.
Hey guys.
Scott.
Who is that?
I hope you can hear me okay. I'm outside and I'm, of course, next to the airport. So I'm missing out on all the cool, fun nerd talk and the cool special guests and stuff like that. So just wanted to come in and say hi to everybody. I look forward to rewatching this episode because I've missed everything so far except for like the last 30 seconds. And I was just going to... What's that?
Go ahead, man.
Laughing at your brother.
Just laughing.
You got the floor. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, it's been a long day already. I've been here since 7 a.m. and I got about 3.5 hours left of my shift.
It's 8:20 p.m. if you're watching this after tonight. So he's been there for 13 hours so far.
That's what happens when you're in
good times.
Hey, I was just gonna. I didn't mean to I was hoping to catch the end of the show because I didn't want to raid on Mr. Chavez's project and stuff. But I also did want to remind everybody. Many weeks ago, we had Doug Wood on for the Project Big Hype, and there's less than 60 hours left of that Kickstarter as well. He has almost $8,000, and he's like, I think 6 or 7 backers away from 300 people. So, once we got Doug's a big success, and we're going to help Mr. Chavez out as well. So,
absolutely,
it's pretty awesome being on Taskforce Geek. If I could ever be on Taskforce Geek.
No kidding. Hey, it's been a few weeks. You have been buried by work and stuff. It's good to see you back on here, even if it's just for a moment.
Yeah, I mean, you got me about maybe a minute at most, but I'll probably just sign off here and let y'all get back to the good stuff that I was hearing. I just wanted to say everybody hi out there, and I'm not dead and gone. The Spicy King lives. He's just working his butt off right now. So.
Making that dollar.
That's right.
I guess so. So anyway, you guys take care. Appreciate y'all.
Take care, Scott. See you.
Care, Scott.
Bye.
Take care, brother.
Have a good night.
All right.
And it's true. Doug's Kickstarter has a few 60 hours, was it?
Yeah, it's
Definitely
not too long. He's about 2,000 over what he needed to do the deal, and he said that every dime that went over what it needed to be printed is going to go to the creators. So help the creators and help this project. It's Project Big Hype over on
really
Kickstarter.
cool. I recommend it.
Oh, it's just such cool stuff. I know that I bid on it, and I think that maybe
I did too.
Okay,
I did too. Yeah,
yeah.
He is
$10 away from 8,000.
Okay, yeah. Let's get him over 8,000. Let's get him over 80,000.
So go over to Kickstarter and look for Big Hype.
Project Big Hype. It's like
Hype.
It's like a manga, but it's done over here. It's not done in Japan. We're doing it.
The collection of awesome artists and writers. I mean, I know a lot of them, and I really recommend it. It's super cool.
It's unbelievable. He sent us a preview copy of the thing, and I stopped reading it because I wanted to read the thing, in my hands. I wanted the thing in my hands because it was just so cool. And yeah, the creators are amazing on that. So let's get over there and help him out. Well, let's help you out too. Let me see what comments we have there. Ronnie asks, I walked away for a second, wanted to see if the preserves monsters were sentient or were they just hunting for trophies?
No, they're sentient as like an animal is. Like they're semi-aware, but they're not they can't talk or think deeply or anything. It's kind of a rule actually to use any human DNA that would allow that to happen. So they want to keep them just dumb animals because that's how they see them.
Right.
And make him as grotesque or horrible as possible because it helps the medicine go down when people see them as just disposable horror things that they can kill for fun. But
Jerry says, great concept. I'm ignorant, but feeling some Lovecraft Country vibes, which she loved, she says.
Yeah, I think my artist probably incorporates some of that into the style of the monsters. They're very dark and shadowy.
That's always good. Jerry says, yay, Spicy King. Steve says, greetings, Spicy King. There you go. It's nice that Scott dropped in to see us here. I guess that Sean went and found there's Project Big Eye, by the way. If you guys are interested in that, there's
it's 10 short for 8,000. Jesus,
he's right there. He's right there.
Wow.
It's pretty cool.
59 hours left to go.
Somebody be number 294.
Right, and 6 people away. Right, 6 people away from 300, which is also quite an accomplishment. All right, LA, tell me about how many things have you done through Kickstarter?
This is my second one, although, like I said, it feels like the first one because the first one really was just me guessing and throw it out there, and I think I got lucky with that one, to be honest.
Was it fully funded?
Yeah, obviously.
How much did you ask on that first one?
About 2,200, yeah.
Okay, and you hit it.
Yeah,
right out of
we
the
made
gate?
that goal, but I don't think I would. Like I said, it was very much luck, and I think a lot of family came to help me with that.
Yeah, we were just talking.
Yeah.
Sean and I were just talking about that yesterday. How, if you have the right project and you have a supportive family and stuff, sometimes they can help get you over the hump if it's not quite there. I mean, those first few times you're just trying to get the momentum going.
My mom and dad ate a lot of chocolate bars when I was in. A lot of chocolate bars.
Yeah, for sure. And so now you're doing it again. Do you have? I mean, I realize that you still feel like you're new at this, but what have you learned so far about doing these Kickstarters?
Let me see. Well, patience, definitely a must. Like I told you before the show, like it feels like a ticking clock, and you're worried that you're gonna run out of time before you hit the goal.
Yeah.
But it's about just being patient and taking every day as you go. And I think the biggest thing for it is networking. Communicating with people, knowing people that can help you get the message out, and obviously friends that will pledge to it as well. I mean, I never ask anybody to pledge, but I just sort of like say, please share it. But everybody's kind enough to, yeah, I'll help you, I'll support you, I'll back you. So definitely try to have something of a network before you launch, if possible. I mean, you don't have to, but I don't think I would have a chance if I don't, to be honest. So that's me.
Michelle said that she had to eat dinner. You should have done it in front of the computer. You can't miss a thing. You missed Scott. That's what you missed.
You missed everything.
What did you miss? You missed Scott. You missed the whole thing. We had the song. We had a musical while you were gone. We did a whole routine, and you missed it all. So there you go.
You missed us doing the virtual Kid and Play dance. You missed it.
Right.
It was me and Sean doing Kid and Play. You missed it.
We had a whole party without you. Scott says the stuff is looking cool. He's excited to watch later. Working sucks.
Empire.
LA, who are your influences? What influences you to do this type of work?
I mean, just about every movie and book I've ever written, and I mean, sorry, not written, sorry, read. But I don't know, like, I think, like, I like to tell this, like, my first writing influence. Well, actually, my first writing influence would probably be Lord of the Rings, because it's a book I read when I was in high school that I loved.
Yeah.
But the book that got me writing was, it's a mixed bag now. I look at it, it doesn't hold up, but it really got me going when I was 16, which is called Aragon. Some of you might have seen.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. The movie and in the book.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's basically Lord of the Rings. It's a Star Wars plot, almost beat by beat, but in the setting of Lord of the Rings, And so take that as you will. But it really captured my attention when I was young, and especially because it was written by a 16-year-old. I remember reading that.
And self-published.
And self-published. And I thought, oh my God, because at the time I thought books and movies and all that could only be done by adults, like grown men with beards and, a lot of experience.
Right.
So the idea that a kid like me, a teenager, could do that just blew my mind. And I literally finished the book, and a month later I was writing my own. It was terrible, but I was writing, and it got me started, I would say.
Ronnie likes that you mentioned Lord of the Rings, because that's his favorite thing too. He says, Lord of the Rings, yeah, baby, yeah. I like you, Mr. Chavez.
I will climb Mount Doom.
And Michelle says, looking good in red, Savannah.
Thank you.
She likes the red color stuff. What do you have coming up next?
Like me?
Yeah.
Well, for now, just focusing on getting this done. After that, I'm sure I'll come up with something. I am trying to decide if I continue the comics I've established. Like, do I do more Santa Fe? Do I go on with the Preserve, or do I try something new? Like, both were experiments, and just sort of see if I could do them. And I wanted like start those stories, see if there was any interest in them. Maybe I can pitch them just to a publisher. I don't know, but I'm
Would you like to get someone to take care of all this for you, all the printing and the promotion and all the crazy stuff?
Please take it away from me.
I hear you. I hear you.
I'll pay them.
Think it's a lot of work, isn't it? And stress.
It's a lot of things, yeah. But it's a blessing that we have the option to even do that now. So
boy, it sure is.
I'll try not to complain too much.
Yep. This sort of thing, Kickstarter was not around, let's say, back when we were doing comics.
I think we're all at this point just sort of waiting, when is the pandemic going to be over, or at least over enough that we, go back to some resemblance of the old life. Like, I'm still wondering if we're going to get to movie theaters ever again. I miss that so much.
Yeah.
But,
for now,
I'm just taking the opportunity, because somebody was saying, like, well, we're all going to become, like, experts over things, just staying home all the time, and, it'll become like a new renaissance. I mean, I don't know about everybody else.
I don't know about that.
Maybe.
I don't know about that.
The only thing I've learned is how to make the perfect grilled cheese sandwich. That's about it.
Hey, that counts.
That counts.
But just we'll see what happens.
All right, we are going to wrap up this section, and we're going to go to On Blast. If I can find it. Are you kidding?
No.
Here it comes. All right, this is the portion of the show where we talk about things that we read or video games that we played, or movies or television that we watched, just whatever it is that you want to promote, or something that you're into right now. And first, I'm going to go Walt.
Oh, there's so much. First, there's this really cool SpaceX hoodie that I got here.
Seriously, that is cool.
This is what Steve was wanting me to talk about last week, but it was putting on, and of course I had to get the country of my origin. So
Cool.
On there. Also, if you haven't,
that is slick, man.
If you are all excited about the Snyder cut of Justice League, if you haven't been to HBO Max, they have every episode of the Timverse, Justice League, and Justice League Unlimited on there now. So if you've never watched any of those episodes, go on there and watch those.
Well, it was a good show.
It's a must watch.
Those are really good.
The stories are great.
They are.
They hold up really good.
Yeah.
And they also have all of the DC animated verse, the ones that I talked about a few episodes ago. There are a few of those movies that are really good, and then there are some that are just kind of So there's only one Wonder Woman movie, and of course it's but the one movie that really stands out of the whole series, and I think it's something like almost like Marvel's like 23 movies, it's Flashpoint. Flashpoint is really, really good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one.
I like the fact that they obviously based modeled Aquaman off of Brock Lesnar. They basically did that. Yeah, they basically based him off of Brock Lesnar.
What an odd thing.
Yes.
Yeah, but it works. Let me tell you, it works. And another thing that I consumed, I watched the first 4 seasons of One Piece because I can do that now.
Oh, yeah.
So Watch that. A very strange show, but I see why people like it. And then other than that, that's pretty much. There's probably some other things in there that I've watched. Whatever. I haven't really bought much because but that's about it. That's about all that I've done.
right.
Watched. So.
Michelle says you're too cool, Walt.
I probably would not have thought of him as Brock Lesnar had you not said that.
And now you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it now, can you?
I can't. And he needs to have a trident tattoo on his chest.
That would be better than what he has tattooed.
Because I will tell you, my favorite character in that movie was Aquaman because he was such a freaking badass in that movie. I mean, he was a badass.
For years, everybody kept ragging on Aquaman. Everybody kept just...
because it was the Super Friends version that everyone remembered.
Yeah.
And they kept kicking him around and kept kicking him... what is it? Robot Chicken.
Robot Chicken.
Right in the nards, man. They kicked him so bad.
Family Guy.
And the family, everybody, and now you see Momoa come out as Aquaman, and you're like,
I have to say something though about Momoa's Aquaman. Don't care for it.
Wow, really?
To be honestly, I think he's fine as Aquaman, but he would have been just a phenomenal Lobo.
I agree.
He's a good Aquaman. He would have been a phenomenal Lobo.
I don't know. Go ahead.
And then, I mean, I like Jason Momoa. I don't think he's like the most diverse actor when you look at the roles he's done, but I think using that to make Aquaman stand out was interesting. I mean, it definitely, like I said, revolutionizes Aquaman as a character as a whole, and I mean, say what you will about him, but I do think he has charisma at least.
He made Aquaman cool.
No,
as cool as you can.
No. He made women go to a superhero
movie. For real.
I'm just gonna put it at that. He made women go to a superhero movie.
Yep,
that's it.
You're reflecting on your mom, aren't you, Savannah?
Yeah. Michelle wants to know if Walt has any tattoos. No tattoos.
No tattoos, but I do have a bunch of designs that I had made that I wanted to get those realistic temporary tattoos. Made. I have a bunch of designs of that I had made that.
Now's the time to do them, Walt.
Now's the time to do it. Well, I got to get that first.
I understand. But all right, we got another question here from Michelle. She says, "LA, do you go by LA or by a different name?"
Well, LA is just my my first two names abbreviated. It's to do the writer thing, like Jake. Well, terrible example. I forget I said that. That one's contaminated. Let's not talk about that. But
R.L. Stein.
R.L. Stein.
So many.
J.R.R. Tolkien.
There you go.
Yeah, Martin from the Game of Thrones.
George R.
George R.R. Martin.
So it becomes a cool thing.
Yeah. Savannah, we're going to go to you next. Tell us about games you've been playing, or anything that you've read, or stuff that you're watching on television, whatever.
Well, I don't really do much anymore. But the last thing I did see that new Hayao Miyazaki film.
Oh, which one is that?
Earwig.
Oh yeah, Earwig.
Yeah, Earwig.
I don't even know what that is.
I haven't seen.
Oh, jeez.
It is crazy. At the end, I was just like, I felt I wanted more. Like they just left me on like a cliff, like a cliffhanger, and I'm like,
really?
Like I don't know. It was very like more like a kid movie than any of his other films. But yeah, I was just kind of like, what the crap? What's going on? It was insane. So, but I did enjoy it.
Okay, that's a good deal. Where did you watch that?
I went to theaters.
Oh, you went to the theater?
Yeah, there's no one there. Like it was dead.
Well, they appreciated you then.
Yeah, no kidding. I have questions for you about TikTok, but we'll get to that here in a moment.
Okay.
Let's see. Who are we going to go to? Let's go to LA.
Well,
You want to tell us some things that maybe you've been watching or reading or just whatever you want to promote.
I've seen a few things like WandaVision and like that new Pacific Rim anime show.
I watched that too. You took one of mine.
Good. It was good. But you know what I'm really excited for? Like it's coming very soon. I think less than a month now. The Mortal Kombat movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I am so excited for that.
It looks so good.
And surprising everybody. Nobody expected
For
it
real.
to be any kind of good. We all remember the last one.
Right.
20 years ago.
Which was, crazy, but I mean, entertaining at least.
The first one
I love the original to death. The first one, like in '95, I believe, and I went to see that in theaters a bunch of times as a kid. And it was still the best theme song ever put to film.
Ever.
Word, ever.
I goes, Mortal Kombat.
Hey, LA, you'll be happy to know that they're reusing the song for the new movie.
I hope so. I don't care if it's a remix or like a piano version or whatever. I just want to hear it.
I don't. You know what? I don't care if it's a as long as it's still the original song. If it's a remix, if it's orchestrated, I don't care because nothing beats the original song.
It's timeless.
At least at the end credits or something, just make sure. How can you not put it in there? Like if they made a Ghostbuster movie, they include the theme.
Yeah. You got to have Ray Parker Jr.
Right.
Of course.
Yeah. So you said do it with Mortal Kombat. It deserves that. But yeah, they just look so exciting and it embraces the silliness, but in a good way, of the franchise. Of like let's just have a bunch of ninjas and collars and dude with metal arms and a guy sorcerer who's like, I'll take your soul. I'm so into that. It's just like we need more. Just I don't want to say lighthearted because they rip spines out of people in there, but just it's that kind of silly for adults, where we can just it's
over the top. So over the top.
It certainly is. Let me Ronnie wants to talk about Earth X with Alex Ross comic. It's a huge epic story. He's halfway through it. Don't know what they're going to wrap up all the threads.
That's a good read. Mm-hmm.
Jeree says Jason made Aquaman cool. I take offense that he lured women into Marvel.
You forgot look instead of cool. You forgot that word. So,
that's a good question. Let's throw that out there. Like,
did he
who
lure?
would prefer Jason Momoa Aquaman or Chris Hemsworth Thor? Those are the two.
Wow.
Did Momoa
the hammer or the trident?
Yeah.
Did Momoa lure anybody into Marvel? Aquaman's a DC character.
See?
Oh well, yeah.
Michelle says Jason Young. That's a point towards luring women to the theater, right?
Yeah, but it's making my point. See, it's making my point.
Kind of does.
I mean, if you're Warner Brothers and that he draws half the population of the place, I would cast him too.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to complain about
get him shirtless as often as possible.
A lot of people want to complain about taking advantage of female actors, stripping them nude just to get the frothy teens in there to watch their movies. But I saw women clamoring to the theater for no reason at all other than to see Jason Momoa without a shirt.
And some of those women I've asked, so what'd you think of the movie? And their only answer was Jason Momoa looked good. Said, so what happened in the movie? I don't know, but Jason Momoa looked good.
About water,
and that's great. That's cool. I praise it.
I'm fine with that because there have been some movies where I went to go see and I was like, who's in it? Okay, I'll go see it because she's in it. What'd you think about the movie? It was terrible, but she looked good.
That's real tough there.
When you can get both, but yeah, like
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Yeah.
perfectly fine with making everyone happy there.
Yeah.
Equal, equal, whatever.
Equal opportunity.
Equal
You know what?
opportunity. Take care of everyone there.
Yeah.
And
and
on
it's
that,
not always, it's not always the ripped shirtless dude that does that. I don't know. Like I think, like in speaking of Lord of the Rings, Aragorn in that movie, Viggo Mortensen. I think that did that for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
it was
Just
the
him
hair.
sweating all the time with the
Oh, yeah.
long just
Yeah.
Yeah.
destroy the ring, more Frodo.
Steve says debatable on the MK theme song. It reminds me too much of James Brown is Dead. You guys remember that song? That was
James Brown is dead. James Brown is dead.
Michelle says she has a role for Jason to fill. Hey-o.
Heyo.
Not on the air. Not on the air.
Did you hear about them firing what's that girl's name? Amber Heard?
They've been working on that for quite a while.
Yeah.
Has that actually happened, or is that still just a
I
rumor?
think so.
I last I heard it was still a rumor. It was still.
We share a lot of rumors on here. That one seems highly plausible, though.
Yeah, it's very plausible.
Wait, which one?
She's causing issues.
Fandom gone.
Yeah, she's was it Johnny Depp's ex, and
Oh yeah.
both of them have issues. So
Yep.
I haven't followed that, but from what I understand, yeah, it's a rocky situation.
yeah.
Steve says, "Who posted Aaron Gray on the FB group?" Yes, please. That was me.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's one of the people. Whatever movie she's in, I'm gonna go watch it.
Oh, so I'm just looking at Savannah's kitty. I'm like, oh.
We do kitty cast sometimes. That's good. That's good
Yeah.
stuff.
I've got a dog who's right down here asleep. So
We always like the getting the pets in there. All right, Sean, you're up, buddy. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out if the cat's gonna harm me.
Really?
She's got
Is that
this
a-
look. She's
Is
got
that a
this
very real
look.
possibility, or
Oh yeah, her claws are sharp.
little needles?
Come on, hop up. Up. Thank you. Oh, less claw. Thank you. First off, I want to say that I don't remember if I mentioned it last week. I finished the Akira box set.
you mentioned that last week.
Did I mention that last week? Okay.
Mhm.
Absolutely phenomenal. The box set also came with an art book that displayed a lot of the covers and the development of the covers of the various graphic novels that were later republished. Brilliant stuff. Again, if you're a fan of Akira, highly recommend getting that box set. Beautiful. I did see a couple of movies, one of which is Blood Vessel. Just out of the blue, I don't know what possessed me. I think I saw a trailer and I thought, surely that's in my list, in my queue. I got to check it out. So I went ahead and watched it. Just a lot of fun. If you like vampires but you hate Nazis, this is a great just a lot of fun.
It is set during World War II.
Survivors, Allied survivors of a sunken ship, or sinking, I guess. They jump upon a raft and they make their way into the Atlantic, where they stumble across a Nazi ship out in the middle of the ocean, only to find that things are a little wonky on this boat. A lot of fun. It's a short movie. It's only about an hour and a half, and it was just
good quality, or like cheesy effects, or
oh no, I thought the effects were great. All of it was physical. I don't remember a whole lot, if any, digital, or if there was a lot of digital, they masked it really well.
Great makeup. really good cinematography, well written, great characters.
It was an absolute blast.
This is it felt like, to me, I watched it too. It felt like kind of like a John Carpenter style, horror movie.
There were a couple of moments where the music, if I remember right, was very Carpenter inspired.
Yeah,
I thought. Anyway,
yeah.
That was one. If you get an opportunity, if you have Shudder, it is a Shudder exclusive.
That was really. I asked Sean after we watched it. It's like, when was that released? Well, it got buried because it was released last year.
Yeah,
and it deserves it deserves more acclaim, and people should watch it because it is a solid horror film that is actually well executed. I think that's a good pick there, Sean.
Are these movies like exclusive to Shudder, or are they like available all over?
That movie, Blood Vessel, is a Shudder exclusive. Now, it'll probably be released later, definitely on Blu-ray, but I suspect that it'll be released to other streaming services on down the line. But currently, it is a Shudder exclusive.
Did you have another thing you want to talk about?
I did. I need to find it, though. There it is. The other movie, The Dead Don't Die. I forced Dirk to watch this one because I know he never would have touched it had I not done so.
That's not necessarily true. I am a fan of Jim Jarmusch.
Whatever. There's a list of movies you still haven't seen that there's no reason
there's a lot of movies I haven't seen, but I do really like Jim Jarmusch.
If you like zombie movies, this is a great zombie movie to add to your collection. If you like comedies, I'm not 100% sure that you'll enjoy this.
It's off.
It was weird, man.
It's weird comedy.
I have now seen this movie 3 times, and I still don't know how to describe it. It had funny moments, but it's not a comedy. It had dramatic moments, but it's not a drama.
So is it a dramedy?
I don't know. I don't know.
It breaks the fourth wall constantly. I mean, the plot is breaking the fourth wall.
It's
they
really,
literally in the thing talk about the script of the movie. In the movie,
they talk about the theme song of the movie in the movie.
Yeah.
Where have I heard this song? It's the theme song to the movie.
It's exceptionally self-referential.
It's an odd duck, man. It's an odd duck, but I can't help but say you got to watch it. It's definitely something you got to see.
Great cast. Look at the cast. Folks.
I know this is a movie that's been on my list for a while, and mainly because of the cast. You know, I mean, you've got Iggy Pop, Selena Gomez, and RZA. I mean,
right?
I mean,
I saw it, and just for Tilda Swinton alone and her whole thing in this movie.
And I'm a huge fan.
It was awesome,
and I'm a huge fan of Rosie Perez. So yeah, it's still on my list to watch, and just hearing Sean talk about it makes me laugh.
It's bizarre, man. I honestly, like I said, I've seen this movie now 3 times. I saw it in the theater when it came out. I didn't know how I felt about it. I saw the Blu-ray. I thought, I'm going to buy the Blu-ray, give it another chance. Still didn't know what I felt about it. And the other day, I played it for Dirk, and I'm still unsure of how I feel about that movie.
You should.
I feel like if you asked the director writer, is it a comedy or a drama, he would say no.
Or yes.
I mean, honestly, it's out there, man. I mean, it's got everything that you want.
It's unique
in all of those movies.
Does the Blu-ray have commentary?
Oh, that's a good question.
If it has commentary, you should watch it with commentary.
The commentary might be even better than the movie.
Yeah, because that's the only way. That's the only way I can watch Resident Evil now is with the commentary, because the commentary is I enjoyed Resident Evil. I thought it was a decent action movie for the time. But then when I watched it with the commentary, it became this huge comedy to me. And because it's just it's Mila and it's Mila, the producer, the director, and Michelle doing the commentary. And there's this one part where they asked Michelle, so which the gun training, what do you think about it? She's, I wanted his gun. It was just some guy's big, huge gun. She goes, but I got but I got this little gun. She goes, but I did get the big knife. So, you talk about the director, Paul W.S. Anderson of Resident Evil. He was also the director of Mortal Kombat. The man's got an eye. He's got an eye for stuff. He just has issues with telling a story.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that one.
Not so good at bringing it home.
He's very good with like the visual part, like the settings.
For sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Unique settings, But
look, if you look at like Event Horizon, absolutely gorgeous. Everything about that thing screams this is going to be a great movie. And then you get to the third act, and it's like,
it's kind of like what like Tim Burton to me is hit or miss.
Totally.
And
also a visualist.
Yeah, and somebody described it as he's a great art director.
Oh yeah,
he is.
Absolutely
the best.
Visually, one of the best. So.
Yeah, I mean, go look at Batman Returns.
Oh
yeah.
The look of that is amazing.
That's what makes the cult directors. I mean,
right.
They were partnered with whether a writer or a creative, I don't know, force that could like match it. Like, oh, they're good at visuals. Well, here's a good storyteller to match that with you. But they, being auteurs, they prefer to go it alone, and their movies end up being maybe not the best, but very unique. So you take it with that.
I've said 1,000 times. I've even said it on this show a time or two. I love the look of Paul W.S. Anderson's films. I think I own all of Paul W.S. Anderson's films, with the exception of a couple. Screw Three Musketeers. That was terrible.
Agreed.
But I cannot stand Paul W.S. Anderson as a director because, again, he can't tell a damn story. Great visual eye. I can pick up all kinds of things creatively from his films. But damn it, learn to tell a flipping story that people like.
A lot of his visual language has been picked up by other directors, but they've done it, they're a little bit more foundational, and they can incorporate that look into a film that makes sense. Okay, here's some comments from people. Let's see. Jerry says, y'all have a good point. Chris Hemsworth, Jason Momoa, Viggo Mortensen. This girl will not miss one of those movies, but I'm still watching all the DC and Marvel movies, I guess, anyway.
Kind of to back that up, I played Thor for my mother, and there were a lot of expletives that came out of her mouth. My
mom is a big Thor fan, too. And Jason Momoa.
Almost.
Oh she just discovered Jason Momoa.
I am
and now
so
my
sorry.
mom won't shut up about it.
Dude,
my mom is 83.
I introduced my mother to Gerard Butler with 300.
That's another one.
That was a horrible thing for me to do. That was really a horrible thing.
Michelle says, Jerry, you're making me so thirsty. Guess I'll finish my wine.
Whoa.
Ronnie says, so Blood Vessel was just as good as The Real Dead, the movie. That's such an inside joke. I mean, like, only like Sean and I get that. Sean, do you want to talk about Real Dead?
Not really.
We'll talk about that some other time. We could go on and on about that. That was a movie that was made locally by someone who apparently has never watched a movie in his life.
The comments
and decided, hey, I would love to produce, direct, write and promote a movie all on my own.
The comments that I have for that
but
movie,
have no background or information on how to do it.
The comments I have for that movie last so much longer than the movie itself.
So much longer.
That should be a special. That should be a special video for YouTube.
It could be.
It could be.
It could be. That might be a pay-per-view event.
It might earn more money than the movie did.
Steve says The Dead Don't Die is number 100 on the list of movies I'm about 35% into and will likely never finish.
Steve.
Jerry said I saw The Dead Don't Die with you, Murphy, and it's such a dark comedy. You being Sean, because I just saw it. Then she
I knew there was okay. That's right. See, it was weird.
It's weird, but about 20 minutes into the movie, you start getting the joke. Adam Driver in a smart car. That is funny because Adam Driver's a tall dude. Cramming himself into that smart car. That was good stuff. I will just briefly mention, it was mentioned just a moment ago that I saw I've been watching animation on Netflix lately, and one of them is an original Pacific Rim animated series called Black, and it's got an unusual concept where the parents of two kids are Jaeger pilots, and they disappear, and two of the kids, brother and sister, end up getting a Jaeger of their own, and they go out looking for their parents. It's well done. It looks great. It's an interesting concept. It's interesting also because it's brother-sister. And if you know anything about Pacific Rim, if you're in those Jaegers, you can read each other's minds. So all of the conflict and issues that a brother and sister might normally have also affects the way that they can interact with each other and how they can operate the Jaeger, which I think is actually a kind of a brilliant concept of exploring that, that element of Pacific Rim. The monsters are super great.
I saw it, and I will add that it has the scariest Australian villain since Mad Max.
There you go.
Yeah, I you know what? I watched it too, and yeah, it was very good. It was really good.
I'm only about 3 episodes into it. They're still introducing characters. They just found a kid in like a test tube or something, and I suspect that he has some powers or something. He looks like he's genetically engineered. I don't know. It increasingly gets more interesting. It obviously has several layers to it. It's for kids. I think that the kids can watch it. Younger kids. I don't know about 5-year-olds, but I would say
maybe teenagers.
I would say teenager too. Yeah,
it has scary monsters in it and stuff. But anyway.
There's some adult situations. I'll just put it that way.
I think it's pretty good. There are some adult situations you say later on.
Yeah.
The characters are well fleshed out, I think.
Yeah, it was better than I thought it was going to be, and I liked it probably more than the last movie, if that makes sense.
I agree.
Yeah, the last movie was kind of.
It's strange how often the animation stuff comes out better than
I stand by the original. The original is like an old-time favorite of mine now.
Such a good Guillermo del Toro.
My mother loved the original.
It's difficult to. Yeah, I mean that's. Did she like the original, or did she like Charlie Hunnam?
No, she liked the original. She was looking forward to. She actually was all about the 3D and watching the robots battle of the monsters. She was all into it.
That thing in 3D was
awesome.
It was like insane. That's my favorite. That's my favorite 3D movie because they have the scenes where it's like raining and stuff, and like it felt like it was raining in the theater, and Del Toro captured the weight of those things where, like you mentioned, the sequel, it didn't feel
the same.
The Jaegers and the monsters didn't feel
when that Jaeger drug the oil tanker down the street as a bat against one of the I mean, yeah, you felt the metal, you felt the tonnage of both of these, the robot and the boat. It was he did a fantastic job.
Still
the music, the camera angles that they did, which is key these days when you're going to do a giant monster movie. You know, you really want to show that weight. You got to show it from a human level to make it look.
To this day, I am upset that, you know, I'll never forget this, because the movie barely got the sequel because it did well overseas. I think in China especially.
Right.
But in America, it was like really underperformed. And I'll never forget that it was number 2 in the box office. You know what movie was number 1?
Oh, what?
Grown Ups 2.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what beat it. I'll never forgive that. That
is so embarrassing. People
rather watch Adam Sandler and his friends and Guillermo del Toro's giant mechas. Just
no,
yeah,
no, they don't. No.
Pacific
I refuse to believe that.
Yeah, me too.
The box office shows that more people are idiots, but beyond.
Fortunately, Adam Sandler has retired to Netflix, so you can choose to watch his movies or not. He's getting paid. And he's out of the Metroplex. All right, it's promo time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to talk about our stuff. Make sure that people go see us. So first, we're going to go to our guest, Ellie Chavez. Tell us where they can find all of your stuff.
Pretty much all I've done is on my website at wickedsuitproductions.com. You can see the animated pilot I mentioned there. The Frontier comic as well is all there for free. The Santa Fe comic I just put up, but it's through my Gumroad account, so you do have.
Oh, okay.
It's the first thing that I charge for, and that's pretty much it so far. Hopefully, I'll do more.
There you are on Twitter. If people want to follow you on there, that's where I talk to you. And let's not forget that you've got a Kickstarter going for the next 3 weeks. It's called The Preserve.
Please, help us make it a reality. You know, if you can, spread it, share it, support it, whatever. I'll take anything I can get. You know.
Yeah, let's get out there and support this. Walt, we're going to you next, man.
As usual, you can catch me at my Facebook page, which is What Studio Presents Walter Cons. And I guess go let Dirk see if he can find that. There it is, right there. That's my blog post. That's my blog, and then there's my Facebook. What's Walter Cons?
Right.
And for anybody who's been wondering what a Walter Con is, if you haven't been to the Taskforce Geek Facebook page and haven't seen it.
Oh, you're going to show that. That's good.
We're working on one of our first T-shirts, and this is Scott Spicy King. Everybody was wanting a Spicy King T-shirt.
There it is.
This is going to be a Spicy King T-shirt. So
good stuff.
There you go. Thank you.
I like it. And also, let's not forget about Twitch.
Oh yeah, and you can find me gaming every once in a while on Twitch. One of these days, I'm going to show up there on a regular basis, and I'm going to do car liveries live. In fact, today, if you haven't been to the Taskforce Geek page, I sent a link earlier today. I basically recreated a car that I made about 2 years ago on a race car. So if you want to go and watch that,
cool. And you're actually working on it?
Live? I actually worked on it live. Yes, I worked on it live. And then after I worked on it, I said, "Hey, let's go race it." And and then that's when if you heard earlier, Sean came in and said, "Oh my God, I think you get to see me wreck into a wall in the car." But I race it.
I knew it was my fault. I knew it was.
But I race it, and then after I race it, I go back. I save the replay so that we can see it as a spectator, as opposed to watching me play the game.
Cool.
So yeah, go and check that out. And in fact, there's some other cars on there that I've done liveries for as well as racing. One of these days, I'll get on there and play some other games like the Transformers and maybe Spider-Man. Maybe one of these days I'll buy Miles Morales and play that too. So,
right.
But yeah, check it out. probably later on this year, if me and Steve can get it worked out, we'll get our racing league going, our Taskforce Geek racing
Cool.
league.
Yeah.
Now's
the time, man. You got the time.
Yeah, me and him both have.
Both of you cats have the time.
Both of us have the time. And we have a slew of Taskforce Geek decorated cars. So if we can get people to join in, we can actually share those designs, and everybody can. If you don't do designs, you can race in one of our designs. And, so that's it.
All right. Well, if you don't know, Savannah is a legitimate internet star.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Definitely wouldn't call myself that.
Yeah,
I got
star.
lots of things going on there, huh?
You do. So what I did is I made a ticker that's going to roll through and show everyone. But if you want to run through them, tell people where they can find you.
Facebook. Sometimes I post TikToks on there. TikTok. Sometimes I post TikToks on there. No, on Facebook for real. I do post like my YouTube video links too as well. So I do, and I like post like Instagram pictures. So if you only have like one platform that you prefer, yeah, like I usually post the same stuff on everything. So
yeah, like on
Facebook,
Instagram and
Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, which YouTube. I'm slowly losing interest in.
Oh no,
really?
They're killing me, man. It's not what it used to be.
Tell me why.
It's just not like my For You page isn't like I don't see any like cosplayers that much anymore. Like they're still there, but they're like buried and like they're trying to push out the adults that aren't making any money right now.
Yeah.
So including me. So I'm losing followers, which is
You're kidding me.
It's like demotivation.
I mean, with no conventions, it's got to be tough for cosplayers right now, right?
Yep.
Man, that's a good point. That is, hey, kitty cat. I'm going to talk to you about TikTok in a minute. I think that's very interesting that you say that.
Okay.
All right, let's see. Let's reset here. I've got a comment. Steve says, "Come watch Walt and I race TFG. What do you call it? Live read cars. It's good stuff."
Yeah. Every once in a while, I'll set up a private room for us, and I'll call up some friends, and we'll just get in there and just race.
All right, Sean, you're up next, man. Give us the stuff. See if I can find.
As usual, you can find me at Facebook. See, people have already messed me up. You can find me usually. You can find me at rankingstudios.com. Feel free to stop by, check out our portfolios, check out anything and everything we got going on. We've got on there. We've got a lot of projects that are in the works that will be appearing there as well. You can also check us out at Facebook.com/Ranking Studios. Also a great place to find out what projects we're working on, what we got coming on down the pike. Stop by either one of those, drop us a line, say hey. Emails are up and running. I've been getting a couple of emails from a few people. You want a
little activity there.
So by all means, keep that activity coming.
Yeah.
Hit those sites and let us know what you think of.
Sean has a Twitch too. I
do. I always forget about that because
okay.
I never broadcast.
I
need to start doing that. I'm on there every now and again currently playing Division or what's the one coming up? Outriders. I think I'm probably going to get that when that comes out. So
it looks cool.
It looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And in a couple of months, Mass Effect Legacy will be coming out. So definitely playing that one.
Right.
So feel free to come on by and watch me make a fool of myself in the video game world.
Good times.
Yeah. Again, stop on by all those areas, drop us a line, and let me know what you think.
All right. Much like Sean, you can check me out over at Ranking Studios. I do artwork and stuff. I just put a post up, and the post is about this. This started with Steve Shank, who's been chiming in. It's an art print that I've done, I did a painting of Anya Taylor-Joy, and I posted it on Facebook. And then Steve said, "Hey, offer prints much?" And I thought, okay, I'll offer a print. So you can see it's got my name on it, and it's got my Rose illustration that I have there, and the title of the piece, which is Anya Taylor-Joy. I'm only going to do 10 of these right now. I have sold half of them, which is hard to believe. So I have a post on rankingstudios.com about this piece. It's $20. And if you're interested in this, you can contact me directly, dirk@rankingstudios.com, or you can go to rankingstudios.com and see the post I just put up there. There's only going to be 10 of these. After I print 10 of these, it's over.
You made that?
You can also see. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, that's a painting. It was that actually started out. I really loved her look at the Golden Globes. Yeah. She had, that like insanely long blonde hair and like that green dress, and it looked like 50s glamour, old Hollywood style. And I thought, wow, that's really cool. And I had been wanting to try kind of a new technique with doing painting, and I thought that she would be a great subject to do that. And on that routine, which I have a couple of, which I'm about to talk about, I have a couple of short videos that Clip Studio Paint will capture your brushstrokes while you're doing the work. And I compiled those together, and then I created a TikTok account. And believe it or not, I am now on TikTok. I don't have the thing on here, but it's basically at Dirk Hooper there, just like it is every other place. And I posted something. I created the account yesterday, and I posted one thing on there, which is the time lapse of that painting. Okay, so it's a 30-second or minute long thing. I put a little music to it. This is a ground zero thing that I'm creating. I am not an attractive woman. I do not dance. I'm an artist who posts a little thing on there. This is ground zero. Today, it has 300 likes and about 800 views. That is insane.
That's great.
Yeah.
I have a Instagram account that I've been on since 2012, and the same thing now has like maybe 100 views and maybe 20 or 30 likes. So TikTok in one day with I had 7 people follow me as of today. I started this yesterday, but I have 700 views on one thing. That's insane. That doesn't happen.
It's amazing when something goes viral.
That is crazy. So anyway, if you're on TikTok, please follow me on there. I'm at Dirk Hooper. I can't even say my own name. It's at Dirk Hooper, DIRKHOOPER. I have 2 things that I've posted on there now, and you can see the process that I'm doing. Please follow me. I do not have that on here. You can see me at LinkedIn at Dirk Hooper Plus. You can also see me at Twitter at Dirk Hooper Plus, and Facebook at Dirk Hooper Artworks. Any of those places you can contact me if you're interested in those things. They're half sold out. It's been 1 week, folks, and I've half sold out of those prints. Savannah, I just wanted to ask, is that normal? What the heck? How do you get 700 views and 300 likes on something where I have no platform? I have 7 people following me. That thing didn't exist on Sunday.
Yeah, they push your content out to like people who like, the same stuff that you're posting. Like people who like tend to have a lot of like art on their For You page is probably going to get pushed out to them. So yeah, they push out your stuff to people who like the same things.
I mean, I have established, Twitter, Instagram. I have over 80,000 people on Twitter that follow me. And if I got 300 likes in one day on something, I would be ecstatic. you know, people are not the reaction on TikTok has been amazing. So I can see why people are going there. Now I think it's interesting for someone. How many people are following you on TikTok?
100,000.
Jeez.
Yeah, you're not popular or nothing.
I'm a has-been.
Whatevs.
So you're saying on the other end, though, that maybe they're throttling your response that you usually had.
Yeah, well, that's what I've heard. Like, there's rumors going around that because it's supposed to be like it started out as a kids app, and then like everyone just kind of latched onto it, and I think that they're trying to turn it back into a kids app, and the only
Good
adults
luck.
that they really care, I know, right? The only adults that they really care about keeping are the ones that like go live, because people can give you money and they take like 50% of it.
I
You
remember
can go live for 60 seconds or for
For as
longer?
long as you want. I used to go live like all the time. People would just they used to just send you money.
And then you can tip people on there?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Savannah, we need to talk.
I want people to
Yeah.
In my
send me
experience, there's
money.
no turning back for things once they they try to do that with Tumblr. It didn't work.
Oh man, they screwed up Tumblr so bad.
They really screwed up Tumblr.
Yeah.
Twitter's very much in crisis as well. They don't know what they want to be either. Everyone goes chasing after whatever the next thing is instead of, worrying about,
The next Apple comment.
being
because I think on Twitter the most responses I've ever had to a tweet was the one year I actually went to the Texas State Fair, and I took a picture of Big Tex, like old Big Tex when he had the smiling teeth.
It's because he's creepy as hell.
And I superimposed the Attack on Titan logo over his head. and then because it looked like one of the Titans. I tagged Adult Swim on it, and they retweeted it, and I had like 200 something likes and retweets on that thing.
Wow.
So,
when you can hit the funny bone, that's when people react.
yeah.
I'm looking.
Let me just tell this one real quick, because it's.
Sure.
I mean, it's like like Walt said, it's if you can hit that funny spot, people will react to it. Like I don't usually do that, but I did one for mistake not that long ago, where I said, because somebody said, it's Friday, people are getting paid, you should reach out to them, to see if they want to donate that day, and I wrote on the tweet, but it was like really early, and I was sort of half asleep still, and I said, hey, it's Friday. Did you just get laid?
What?
Yeah, exactly. I thought it, but people really liked it.
Right.
And another tweet that I had that got popular. If you remember the show on Sci-Fi Channel called Continuum.
Yeah.
Okay, so of course that's a show that was produced out of Canada, and at the time, 4-letter words were common, So I realized watching the show that, excuse this, but they were allowed to say shit 5 times in an episode.
Right.
So I would watch the show, and I would get my favorite bottle of spirits, and every time they said shit, I would take a shot. And so I would, how people live tweet, their favorite TV shows. So I would live tweet, I would hashtag Continuum, and then I would do hashtag 1 shot per shit.
Oh.
And I went a whole season doing that, and maybe 5 people were catching on to the thing.
I remember this.
And then the last season, 5 episodes away from the end of the series, the producers finally caught on. They're like, did you turn our show into a drinking game?
Yes.
And I was like, yes, I did. I said last week, your show really got me effed up in the first 5 minutes. So
that's awesome.
So they're like, well, how long have you been doing this? I said, well, I've been doing it for 2 seasons now, and you guys just now caught on. They're like, oh my gosh. So, but I haven't brought it back because there are several shows where I could still play that game, but
for sure.
Yeah. So
Happy gets away with the F word.
There was some show I saw on, what was it? It was on TNT or something. I don't know. It was like 9-10 o'clock at night, and I can only assume that this is the only reason why they allowed it. I'm just channel surfing, just what's on, because I'm not quite tired yet. And then I flipped over to some movie, and it's like F-bomb after F-bomb after F-bomb, and I'm like, hang on. I do not have Prime TV, Prime channels. This isn't HBO or Showtime. Or what am I watching? I'm watching TNT?
Yeah.
What?
That's crazy.
Yeah. TNT USA channel after 10 o'clock.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Blew my mind.
Michelle says Savannah is very popular. Don't let her fool you. She's a force of nature. We're lucky to have you on here.
One other,
to slum with the rest of us here.
one other thing, and I don't know if no, Steve has not mentioned it, but I'm going to send this message out to Steve. Steve, be sure to post those T-shirts that you were texting me during the show. He's been designing some Taskforce Geek T-shirts himself. And they look pretty cool. So
nice.
Be sure to post those on there.
Speaking of Steve, he says he can't wait to get the print. He's the one who started this thing. He's got print number 1. It's coming. Michelle says, Dirk, that piece of art with the feet was over the top great. She liked the one with the feet, which is funny.
I hate feet.
Michelle says, go hoop. Steve says, don't underestimate your greatness, Dirk. Wow, thank you. Ronnie says, that's awesome. Michelle says, I got a lot of tattooed men in her TikTok feed. Hi, Jennifer. Where's Jennifer? Did I miss something? Who's she talking to? Are we getting crosstalk here? Focus in. We're doing a show here. Steve says Resident Alien will drop some decorative verbiage.
That's a good show, too. I recommend that show.
No doubt. All right. Does anyone have anything else they want to add? Or is that it? We're done. Hey.
All right.
Thanks to our panel. Thanks to our guest, L.A. Chavez. Thanks to Savannah Martin for slumming with us. Thanks to Sean and to Walt for being on once again. And thanks to everyone for watching us tonight. We sure do appreciate it. Go over and support L.A. Chavez's The Preserve. It's at Kickstarter right now, and we will definitely check back in. You were a great guest for us. You're welcome back anytime. All right.
It was a pleasure.
That's it, folks. Until next time, dream hard.